So obviously when you've invested in a Phantom 3, it's quite an expensive bit of kit, and one of the things that I've found in the past is most of the damage I do to things is not when I'm flying them, it's either getting them in and out of the loft, in and out of the car, or just moving them around. So it's really important to me that I've got some secure way to keep it. Now my old Phantom, I just had a plastic really useful crate which fit them really nicely, and I had the props and bits and bobs in there. And for getting them in and out of the car and for carrying around the house, that was perfect. It also meant that they weren't at risk of things being dropped on them. But for the Phantom 3, it's a bit more money, so I wanted to look at something a bit better, but I'm obviously still mean, so I wanted something that was affordable. So the two things I saw were the rucksacks, the hard rucksacks, which I can see will be really useful for walking around with. DJI do a genuine one that's £158, which is a crazy amount of money, I think. This is a copy which looks very, very similar, if not identical. These are on eBay from China. I actually got this one from England for £43 delivered, which was, I thought, the best price I could see at the time. It's the black one. They do a carbon finish, which is nicer, but it was more money, and I wasn't that bothered because I think they all look pretty rubbish anyway. And the other thing that I saw was a hard case. Now this is actually from Hobbyking. I normally don't talk about, I buy everything with my own money and I review it independently. So I'm not supporting any vendor or seller, but this only comes from Hobbyking, so that's why I mentioned the brand. So, and this is again the heavy duty hard case, which I think is really nice. So if I just quickly compare them, I'll just load this one up. Okay, so as you can see, everything fits in really nicely. So the Phantom just drops straight in. There's space for 3 batteries. I wouldn't store a battery in the Phantom when you're moving it around. The transmitter goes in nicely. There's this lovely foam flap, and there's a net pocket which the propellers go in really neatly. So once that's in, you can shut that down, you can lock that off, and my test is, does it rattle? And nothing's rattling, so I'm really happy with that. So that I think is a really nice case. £30 I think is a really fair price. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. And for storing it, for putting it in the back of the car, or for putting it in the loft, or just keeping it out of the way of the kids, I think this is a really nice case. So I'm really happy with that one. So then we'll swap over and look at the rucksack. Okay, so this is the cheap hard rucksack. It looks very similar to the official one to me. It's got the very similar padding on the back. The strap there looks fine. It's got like a webbing cover on it. That's perfectly fine. The only difference I can see, it's got this same elastic strap or hard strap to hold everything in, is on the DJI case, I believe that the transmitter goes in sideways, whereas on this case it goes in vertically. Now the only disadvantage with that is it means that these air antenna strips are a bit exposed, so you do have to be quite careful. The other issue is because of the way it's been, the moulding's cut out, it's actually quite a tight fit over them. Now I've actually got a Dremel and I've just rounded out that corner just so it clears easily, because it was a little bit squeezing on that, which isn't ideal. The other thing I've had to do with the Dremel is I've just eked out the pocket for the tablet. Wasn't quite wide enough for an iPad, deep enough for the iPad, and so I've just Dremeled that down so it fits in nicely. The quad goes in perfectly. Because I've got the gimbal plate, I've actually on this one I've had to cut out a couple of slots in these foam ribs, but if you didn't have the gimbal protection plate you wouldn't need to, and if you do, it's not difficult. I just used a bread knife, I just trim the foam down and then you just snap it off with your fingers. It's really easy to do that with. So the quad fits in there and it's a lovely fit, straight in. The batteries, again, there's 3 battery slots at the front, which is all I would need. The propellers go in this pocket here. Now there is a slot for the charger there, but I'm not sure if all the cables would fit, and because you're only going to take this out for a day, I'm not really so worried about fitting a charger into it. So it has got a gap there which all the propellers will go in very neatly. I'll just slot them in there, and I can just pop my neck strap can go anywhere really. So for going out for a day's flying, that's everything you would need. That strap is really just to stop, I think, you opening it upside down. When you close the lid, I'll just be a little bit careful, just that you're not going to snap these aerials. So what I've been doing is just looking down just as I close it, I just manoeuvre them in. Once it's down, then the zips go round. and it goes fine. Now again, doing my rattle test, there's nothing moving in there, so I'm happy with that, and it's secure. And whilst it looks ridiculous, and I'm not over the moon about this logo, it's a rubber finish. Otherwise I might even put a bit of tape over it, or a sticker or something, just to make it a little bit more discreet. But it does look a bit odd anyway. In this sort of climate, I'm not sure that walking around with a funny looking backpack on is going to be a good thing, but hopefully I'm only going to use it probably just walking out on hillsides and things where I'm not going to get a lot of attention. But it's a rucksack, it's comfortable, and I'd be quite happy to walk with that for a little while. So if that means you can get somewhere to then make a good flight and get some nice video, then I'm perfectly happy with that. Again, for the price, I think I'd probably suggest getting both, really, because I think it's useful to have a hard case for storing it safely with all of the charger and everything. And also it's useful to have a rucksack just for taking out and about. But depending on what you need, you may only want one on either of these. So I hope that's useful.